against a Shopify Rebellion that when they lose, they do get a little bit scary, and that is just not something that you want to deal with early on.
All right, I'm glad to see that Wada aren't changing the comp. I think this is, for them, their win condition going to come down to having better rounds around the Phoenix ults, coming into them with a set idea as to how they want to use them, and removing some of the executes where their Phoenix walls were not placed optimally. That alone, I think, can make a huge difference. And honestly, yesterday, they weren't hitting too hard individually with the aim. Kind of needs, just some level of individual step up in that regard as well.
For the other side, for Shopify, again, we haven't seen this in some time, and Alexis has played this deadlock before. They are going for this double sentinel approach, starting on the defense as well, and also keeping the Yori that we saw last year. So what I like the most about this is that I just talked about how yesterday, when they lost, a lot of the roles that they were playing, a lot of the agents that they were playing, they were a little bit uncomfortable to what they've been doing throughout their career. When you look at this right now, this makes sense for what gave them success in the past. So if you want to start comfortable in a series like this one, in the lower bracket, to start a lower bracket run, it feels like the perfect way to do it.
Well, folks, we are in for the fight of the century in the lower bracket. It is Wada and Shopify Rebellion Gold fighting for their tournament lives. I'm going to send over to your casters, Zobi and Rivington.
Thank you so much. I mean, what do we say? They opened the desk perfectly. No, this is going to be an amazing game. There's so much to say going into this one, Zobi. And it's crazy to see that this is a lower bracket match that we have now, and one of these two teams is going to have to go home today.
Absolutely. We thought it was a risk for Wada picking up a set yesterday with the comp change of the Starbound re-debuting the jet that they played so long ago in their career. And we saw the learning curve very starkly of depending on June as a solo Senti and them fixing the mistakes that came up as they were. And it just ultimately led to them losing that map and then obviously the subsequent FlyQuest pick. But I'm excited to see its second rep after they've gotten a VOD under their hands where they can switch up some of those changes. On the flip side, SRG, I like them leaning into a very comfortable comp. I feel like Sarah, yes, she's taken on so many different roles, but it's impeded her individual performance just a bit. And this is like a return to something they know super well. They were one of the first teams to pick up this comp when M80 debuted it so long ago. And I'm excited to see if it still stands the meta of time.
A check to see if they do want to encroach into mid real quick, as it looks like a little bit of a B walk here. Coming in from Wada. Looking at SRG's comp, as Sentinels feels like they got to get a lot of rounds here on defense to make that attack work. But we'll have to see as they start now. Sarah, good work of the quick first blood, but Wada floods into the site and takes out a few members of SRG.
Ooh, and just like that, again, these players on site have to hold it down now. You have Star, who's going to be that aggro player in the lates, and it's just unfortunate that there's not much util left now for Wada in this post plan to heed the Lydia paranoia, to heed the net that Alexis is going to likely chuck in here.
Trying to draw some eyes. Starbound on the alley side, dips into sight, looking to stay mobile here as everybody holds a position. Australis now first contact towards that right side as they look to delay a little bit more. This one, they're going to allow the time to tick out. See if Wada pushes themselves out, makes some noise in there. The shots through the smoke actually identify where they are in sight. Alexis gets two right away. They're going to go ahead and rush back sight here. A quick kill. Powerpick Soul's only able to get one as Lydia and the rest of the team swarm in. Defuse there. Shopify take their time and collect the pistol round.
Wow, if Lydia wasn't swinging into both there alongside Alexis, that could have gone very poorly, right? Donut limping out with 14 HP. A great attempt, but ultimately hand-in-hand, SRG carry on through that retake to get the pistol on the table. So very well done to that Accord. And honestly, I think that's a great pistol showing because Wada are able to strong hand their way through the site for a setup, but then the retake ability for SRG is going to come through. And honestly, we didn't get to see too much, I feel like, of the retakes yesterday successfully from either Team Fly or Wada in that upper bracket quarterfinals matchup. So I'm excited to see more out of both of these teams in that regard. But for now, aside from the 4-step Marshall by in favoring SRG, and so does the opener.
Connects with two there. First one through the wall. Right here. Nice clean shots. And they're going to keep pushing that. We'll see if they can actually get right in the face of this scope and pressure the rest of the map. Calls out the drone from the side of Sarah here as SRG understands something funky's going on, and they got to be wary of every angle here.
Oh, and a big point of this attack was Juno not really able to shut down Jazzykins when she was pressuring into B main. So I like that once again, Senti head-to-head between Noya and Juno there over B main. Again, Juno learning when to survive, when to push further, and now the regroup towards tree is would have been nice aside from the plethora of util Alexis is just dumped in as this deadlock that Lydia can now play around.
That's a great point. It says we're going to be Wada homework to do too, as they're going to have to take the round to figure out where Alexis is playing that util once they do start to get guns. So an early round like this is a good one.
Ooh.
Juno clapping one on Lydia with the bandit there as Alexis gets 2 more back, bringing that annihilation from 2 to being online. And it looks to be now the bonus round. They're pretty well off as they're going to go against Wada 5.
Yeah, SRG just felt like they went through the paces here. Like, everything gets checked off for how a second round should go. The opener off the Outlaw. Really nice util trading here in a tree between the deadlock between the Omen, and the shots follow. So, all in all, again, I think now that the guns are in hand, it's still going to maybe lean Wada's way since they have kind of been able to go where they want to freely. But we're looking towards some creativity then on the SRG side for some disruptance.
That dart that Wada's been sending mid stops for this round, that the push from SRG actually comes out and they finally get the drone, but it's going to be a little too late. The fight ensues. It's just a 1-for-1 for now, and drone back and forth to reset the action here as Wada looking to make a little fake on it.
Ooh, they spotted Alexis out in hell. Hot Hands trying to flush her up, but she disrespects it off her sensor, off her net.
Almost. Yeah, they're playing around each other's util perfectly here. The flash comes through. Oh, they're able to get one out of it. Bunny B actually resets for a second one there. Opens up A site, and they're like, wait, why don't we just bring the spike over here? They transition now and are rotating quickly to get that dice plant and seams down and get that ultimate back, or ultimate online now for them.
Yeah, just the trades favoring Wada in some of these more creative plays we asked or demanded for SRG's bonus, right? You lose one obviously on the side anchor, you lose one on that catwalk fight, and Sarah felt pressured before Noya had completed the rotate to find her own impact, and low HP here now with still 3v2 favoring Wada slightly.
One enemy remaining.
Little peeks, little stabs, nice control. They didn't give up too much. The rest of Wada were holding those angles tight, and they do grab the bonus round away from SRG. Now we see both teams with guns. We'll see how they both come online.
Yeah, and again, looking back to Wada's game on Ascent versus Fly, they were really good at identifying those weak sites, taking those sites. It was the post point where things were kind of hit or miss, where those aggression points bounced out with nice util investment, or if it was kind of solo engagement that got pieced off. And there it was a nice balance of, okay, we're feigning contact on Sarah, the paranoia comes through for the finisher. It was very additive instead of solo individual riskiness. So, all in all, Wada keep it pretty strong here, but SRG, again, changing the tempo.
Ooh, the one that could be caught. Dodo Nut gets out alive. So nicely played. Again, both sides just perfectly around the utility there. Good job by Dodo Nut to get that wall out. Push comes through for Wada. Oh, go ahead.
Like I said, this was a big issue for Wada yesterday. Actually, was a main control. It was a double controller, or it was Stay at times just taking the space, 1v1ing Australis, winning every time. And every round we demanded more help. We were like, why did they stop having Bunny B help get Australis in a position? And that's an immediate fix I've noticed on these defaults. Is it starts there and then Bunny B goes back, regroups with Starbound with them in mid space. And I think it's going to keep more options on the table, but we're reaching less than a minute left already, and you have stacked on stacked on stacked util and tree, players on A. You do have to end B here, so once again, the right call for Wada, but I'm worried of what Sarah and Noya are capable of on this anchor.
Yeah, they're going to stay in sight. It's going to be based off of aim, 2 shock darts, maybe
Run
to
it back.
delay here. They're going to have to hit their shots. Bunny B will test that right away. Clear space with the hot hands. Flash through. Flicks back and forth, but no target to be found. And the duo in sight starts to drop the invaders. A nice job, but Australis stands right at the front door and knocks everybody down that tries to flood back in from SRG. Still with the classic, but Dodo Nut is there to seal the deal. That got sketchy, but SRG stayed with 2 alive as they win the round.
Yeah, a little dicey, but again, you get the premonition of like, feels like it's gonna go poorly, and it definitely did. Noya and Sarah did a great job anchoring just in time for Lydia, and that from the shot shadows to reinforce the side hold came through. So again, understanding why there was an A stack in that situation to begin with, as time was ticking down in that round for Wada. And without that extra support of Lydia, I don't think the round would have gone their way, right? Because that trade from CT with Donut would have left it still in a 1v2. That could have been very winnable for Wada. But money, reset, luckily aligns with maybe a Steel Garden play that could be had this round for Wada, but they don't really initiate off of it much, I've noticed. It's more of a late round kind of tool, so we'll see if that's what they do, if they can even get the safe cross towards tree, towards an A split.
Donut starting to use the clone to pop the Vice Wall over B. They drone out, so they're
Great counter.
just clear. Have somebody rotate, lean towards a different site, but the other site is double senti. Good luck walking by that without breaking any. Power Pixel's gonna have to hit the perfect shock dart.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Wada used to run this double senti. Again, to me, they have one of the best deadlocks in the league with Australis, and that's where I also questioned the change up here, since they do still run the double senti chamber deadlock on maps like Lotus. But for now, it's SRG leveraging it perfectly here. Power? Huge though, double with the Sheriffs. Now can break the teammate out. Oh no, is it gonna be time? There it is.
Love it. That's teamwork. You can't leave anybody behind. What a hit here, and that just gives so much credit to Wada for how they break the double senti there, really pull SRG out of their comfort positions when all they had to do was hide behind the util. And now they're left with 3 members to try and take this site back from the guns they purchased.
Ooh, and it's gonna be that Steel Garden late as question to try and cap off the perfect thrifty round. Lydia just takes the dive in ahead of the timer. It gets punished, and running it down with the classic for Donut is the only way to stay alive while that primary is jammed. But waiting on the rotations from Sarah out heaven, and I love that Wada now buying down the timer split and conquer. Hunter's Fury added in at the last second as well, so 2 ults as a trade up for the 2 rounds they find on the scoreboard. And yeah, all in all, great round from Wada, but it also felt like SRG made some mistakes, right? Like Alexis off the ultimate, I think played a bit too close there in tree when she usually plays a little bit deeper into grass and is in waiting for the sensors, waiting for the wall. And the same was said for Lydia on the A site, and that was non-existent. So I think some changes for SRG came out that necessarily weren't needed, and that's what cost them the round.
Yeah, tough to get back on that, especially when you kind of put all your eggs in that basket to be like, oh, it's the other round, it's a low buy we can leave to. Well, that low buy is swept up in the economy, now rushes forward for Wada. SRG is playing off the wall they've been toying with, but it's expected for Wada again as well. And this time they're thinking there's going to be that push out they've been seeing every round here. So a slower round from Wada as they read the map, and they've done a lot of sells with Bunny. Let's see if they try it again.
Yeah, we have like a high-low A main, we have the high-low B tiles. Like, they were expecting an aggro push, but SRG temper it. It slowed down on this B main scaling, but feels like it'll be eventual. It's going to be how much time can Noya buy? Can she get a little cheeky kill from the corner of heaven? And will that set up a successful retake for SRG when they realize the call is wrong? In the meantime, though, I'm going to be looking towards Juno's position to cut off some of these rotations, or if it'll be a hero rifle handed over for the retake, since it looks like Wada, if they don't get onto A, something goes seriously wrong here.
Nice gates to get out. Ooh. Reverse the hot hands right quick. Now the rotation starts to come over. Gen plant. Still have some util for this. Got the paranoia to go back. Still have Juna's flashes, so SRG is going to have to do a nice waterfall insight.
Ooh, purple at the ready, though, as soon as first contact is made.
Power Pixel tries to set up a few eyes towards long. Starbound now playing very close to the smoke, knowing that they're going to drop in. And this is going to try to be a cat and mouse game just around the bloom of the circles. Wada cleans up SRG, knowing they tried to stay hip and hip on the entry. It's just, where is that dang Alexis hovering around Dice? Bunny B gets a 3rd one on the round. Run it back's going to be ready too, so they can keep this rolling. Yeah,
I loved the reflood smoke there from Lydia. It threw some chaos into the round. I just wish the Alexis net has gone with them on that jump out instead of it being an afterthought, an after effect, and was more of how Alexis picked up the weapon, kind of refragged Lydia. I think if it was there intentionally, then they would have maybe not lost fights along the way of jumping down, and they could have had kind of numbers. It flipped suddenly in that situation. But again, both teams are making these rounds pretty close, so you'll see a few players' economies kept in check. Juna, right, on the Wada side, for example, but all in all, the op Odin comes out. Very scary if it's kept online for a while, but in the meantime, we mentioned it, right? The bait setups off Bunny B, the early starts, these defaults, it baits out the Hunter Fury A side, and that sets off the B exec for Wada.
Noya knows nothing was hit there. Ooh, playing the trap game. Nice cleared. That's going to be the run it back that doesn't go down. Or does go down, I should say. Australis takes down Noya. And now Lydia
You gotta know.
holding. Do they know? They're searching, looking, but it's in the corner. Paranoia's just going to be wide, and it's still the kill from Lydia. Picked up with the help from Alexis as well. Tiles, if anything else, went down. And Spike is in their hands.
And they're just going to stare firing squad style, right? No paranoia, no TPs, nothing really for Australis to play around. Make this round competitive. It'll have to be the overswings, the mistakes, and this looks like an ironclad crossfire in the high-low as well to complement it. Tiles off the Donut operator is, again, what makes this buy style so lethal for SRG. They keep the Odin, they keep the op. The money's going to strengthen around these ultimates, and SRG have suddenly taken the lead back and have a way, it feels like, to maintain it. And again, Wada that round, like, Lydia just finds a great timing, right? I don't think they necessarily did anything wrong. They knew they had to speed up because they don't know who's coming, fighting in behind that kind of interestingly invested Hunter's Fury from Sarah on the SRG side, and it's just that one player that makes a difference for SRG, and they completely set up a late round plan off of it. So again, Stellar Subs shines through. Lydia 11-4 right now, and ooh, we're again changing things up. SRG, the depth of this strat book is impressive already, Ripington, for their first Ascent rep.
Yeah, round 8, we get another look from them, and it's going to be right in the face of Wada. And this is the uncomfortable strat, right? Make them sweat. Now they've identified the operator, too, as there's an operator also sitting in the hands of Noya, so they can hold a hard line there and know everything's over towards A.
And they're going to know. There's like 3 players in mid. They're going to hear the rotates. They're going to be ready to reflood off of this kill trip.
Spams through. The site's still going to be divided vertically here, so it looks like they'll get some space. Wada gains what they want, but it's going to be a tough hold here. Util's low, and they're going to get smoked out on the way back through.
Yeah, info for SRG on the raid tick as well. Flank for encapsulation. It feels like SRG have all the time, all the cards to work with here. Even the doubles in main, Alexis now knows what she's walking into.
Smoke just came up for Lydia. This is going to activate SRG on the way back. Alexis as well on the other side, just waiting. Takes one down. The call hasn't even come through yet. Alexis still makes it within the timing. The third one from hell, too. And that's where Alexis puts them for this round. Lydia going for the half defuse. Why not? Bring Annihilation online. Everything on this round for the IGL to bring in the flawless for SRG.
Yeah, completely. I love the, again, proactivity and planning around the ultimates that SRG has. That feels like a big difference right now between SRG's calling and Wada's calling. Again, Donut, the Dimensional Drift got so many answers, so much space that they then could tip numbers and the retake plan and the Odin, right, over to this A site to completely dismantle the take and set up this flank crunch post plant where, again, we kind of mentioned it felt like an off day for both of these teams yesterday. SRG are hitting the shots, the leader, Lydia, and all. So 5-3 now. Again, Wada, I feel like 4 or 5 is enough. I really just want to see how their defensive half goes since we didn't see enough of it with a second round Thrifty going awry yesterday against Fly, but we got to get past that benchmark first because, again, Odin ops so hard to find a solution around and back to default so that Power can maybe try and figure it out.
Donut down low here. Spike is dropped as Wada walking around looking for these opening kills, seeing how much SRG will feel like there's a big advantage. Oh, that one under the armpit. Juna taking down Dodo Nut there. 2 missed shots, and they start to move an advantage of at least numbers towards that right side of the map.
Yeah, trade it out. And that's also a change for Wada. Again, you need to support Australis on taking A main. You need to support Juno on taking B main. That's what Starbound was for. Speaking of Starbound, again, with this jet pick, it's weird. They almost play it like a chamber, just putting Starbound on an extremity, looking for that opening kill to pivot off of. And now it's like, okay, now you have to entry alongside Bunny Bee with an operator. And that's where things kind of feel awry with this compositional pickup. But Bunny Bee, I think, can do it on her own. Let's see here. She's gotten past the net, but the Annihilation is what actually ends up coming through.
Nose one snuck in just on that left side. Easy to go through. Using that's a bit of cover. Who's going to try to shoot it out? Oh, Alexis on the dice. Rolling it back and forth for this game. And it could be... Oh,
saw the hair.
Oh, no, you saw the hair. Deadlock needing a haircut. Might get one here from Starbound. Oh, too quick. 4K for Alexis. 7 in the last 2 rounds for the IGL. And even getting that ultimate kill to bring 3 more pit points back in. Big string of rounds there for SRG as they seem to find the momentum.
It will guarantee at least a tied half here. A little tech pause that will work on through with you all, but gives us time to analyze the rest of this half could go, right? Yeah. Wada a few off from some big swing ultimates, which again, they've used really reactively, and that is a strength, a trade-off. Like I mentioned, intentional planning, but again, now the issue isn't really post-plant, it's getting onto these sites. It feels like these anchors, Lydia, Alexis, are starting to step up, and this defaulting is no longer functioning, and honestly, we do really then want to see a change of pace from Wada. I might even be behind like a little death ball for the eco, maybe even the rifle round following, just so they can maybe get that confidence, that wind under their sail.
Yeah, looking at, I think, yeah, this is probably their best chance to get these rounds. So right now it has to be 3 more. Otherwise, SRG, they are going to feel very comfortable getting onto the second half with what looks like to be the rest of the rounds on this half. If this, I mean, tech pause, I can't say too much throughout it, but it doesn't kind of reset the mentality of what's going on. I think SRG is doing a good job of adapting, reading, and even if Wada wants to get aggressive on the rounds, they think there's a little push out. This SRG back up, and they'll just absorb util and make everything so much harder. It's a really good read from SRG so far.
And I guess it's some time to talk about like the behind the scenes for SRG. Talked about the boot camping, what that was going to bring.
Yeah.
We talked about the bounce back mentality of, again, being dropped to the lowers for the first time, losing a match in main event for the first time since 2023, right? With this roster, with this core, and I think it's been fun to explore and like go through all the SRG content, including like the DOQ podcast, to see like what the changes have been like with Alexa stepping into the IGL role. Again, the desk talked about how much work she's been putting in behind the scenes, but then who's filled the void, right? We see Alexis, we know she's the silly one, but now she's got to lock in and call, and it's been kind of like joint between Lydia and Noya, right? Lydia's fit into the culture, into the comedic style of SRG, and Noya, that usually stoic clutch factor, has actually been the sillier one that caught everybody by surprise at the Shopify Rebellion Gold office. And it's, I think, been nice, and I think it's developed in the well-roundedness of this squad again.
Yeah.
It's definitely changed their identity from a team that was very dependent on either a strong caller or a strong central fragger, and everyone has come off better for it.
For it to stay at such a high level is incredibly impressive. You know, being able to change in such a pivotal member as Mel, and even then switch roles around to make sure things are working, and bring an IGL online so quick. And, you know, Alexa says, I always wanted to be an IGL and saw myself in that position, but it's even in her words, it's kind of much different trying to figure out, do I get everybody to 5-stack and eco kind of just, and furthermore. So really to see them do that very flawlessly almost throughout this, in these now losses that they're experiencing, I think become a big learning point for them, because a lot of times you see teams in a winning position find that complacency or not know how to improve since everything is working, and then the losses kind of bring something else online. And I think that it might be something they almost need at the right time here, and lower bracket might be a little scary for the fans for a way to do that, but yeah, they've shown so much in the past to make that happen. And on the other end, Wada hasn't been through that as much, and they still are showing extremely quick, extremely fast. They've done their international plays, and or some of them, I should say, and are finding their success.
Yeah, and for Wada as well, again, this is your 9-to-5 squad. Like they don't have as much time to invest as a full-signed team, and they still are able to have those developments, learn from the losses, and that's usually Power who's able to put in that time to review and spread that info with the team, alongside with the coaching staff, King Fred, again, who went back to school, also putting in that time where possible. And we'll see then if at least the introspectiveness of a tech pause, I think it was a timeout for Wada as well at the tail end of it. Yep, to get those words in, can change things up. And we mentioned it for the eco, try to death ball somewhere. I do think mid is where it's at. They notice how it's not as strong of, I feel like, util stacks in a tree. You realize how it is just that kind of laissez-faire tripwire that's been left in mid round after round, and that could pose an opening for exploitation.
Drone herd on the left side by Juna. They've moved the wall out as well. Get a little more commitment on that, as the mid commitment is big. Now they move in with a wall. A lot of the action on Cat trying to distract here is so much space has been gained. Will the rotation happen that they want, though?
Oh, looks like it. A little fake cloudburst. They can full focus through market, and this is where again Noya and Sarah have to shine.
got Dart out. That's going to set up some pings. They quickly shoot it down, and Wada scrambles now to find out what smoke they can hide in, but it's already the arsenal of Sarah, Alexis, and Noya to come through and clean up the site. A flawless again for SRG.
Yeah, again, it felt like SRG knew exactly what was happening, even surrounding their changes really, really well. Again, you had Alexis in the back pocket of Donut in tree just in case things went wrong with the operator. And then you had, again, a spawn hold from Sarah. You had the hard anchor from Noya, and Sarah could pivot as needed with that retake dart. That was perfectly timed alongside with the cages, so Noya could play around said dart alongside the Odin spray. So again, even though SRG haven't played this map because they qualified out of Swiss super fast and didn't really elect for it in Promo Rally and VCL, this looks like a very, very well-repped map in their pool. And even now, again, they're consistently changing the pacing on the defense. And once again, I feel like this Yoda is so equipped to handle Juna and this Vice pickup.
How do you know? Is it the drone? Is it a person? Did they jump the wall? Gotta check. Dang, it's an op this time. Like, they've switched the op around too now. Who's got that? So Dodonot makes use of it. And now they have to clear this A. It's gonna be Wada trying to push through. All the pings come through again as the kill feed lights up. And now we got a 3v3 as Dodonot says, nah, we'll take the advantage.
Yep, and now it's gonna be, okay, let's just give it the side play, the full retake here, play for some late shocks to maybe finish the job off. Wada, aware of that, get the plant down, but still a 2v3 with, again, not much util to work with. Someone's gonna have to play Heroics, and Bunny tried to, but it's even read by Sarah on the counter spam.
Still red, right? Just holding back, knowing the push goes through. Rest of them are gonna push door.
Wow, that's even red. They pause, right? They hold. Understanding that as soon as that door is broken, Australis might go for a solo swing, see if she can pick off a solo player. SRG, every step of the way. Again, this loss, this lower bracket run is a wake-up call. They're going to make no mistakes, even on Waterdaw's map pick here on Ascent. Guarantee a firm lead. We'll have to see if Wada can find a similar 4-8 to what they found yesterday, or if we might even see more dominance for SRG on the 9-3.
First, they're able to just make a mark right at the beginning of the round every time, which I think makes it so hard and seems to be forcing the hand of Wada instead of just information grabbing like they would want here. I think the reflood too, SRG has realized it just pressures Wada so much.
And that's what I actually wanted to see. I was like, I feel like they're focusing mid-tree too much. I wanted to see just on A main and see what happens. But again, the op is here every time. That's where you want the Hunter Theory to be alongside this. Second Australis, a crazy stick off the dive in from Starbound, might finally reward them a sight to at least even numbers. Australis lucky to be alive, and Alexis re-swing red, dealt with by power. So it is, in fact, the 3v3.
No way. If this works and they clean it, that play is called the major look. Like, there were so many things to look at there to break your crosshair. And why did I get in? Yeah, some numbers are lost, but it's the price they pay here to now have sight this post plant. And again, the three that really have been alive to take the post plant back in SRG's favor still stand, so it's going to be tough. One for Australis. Has to make a shot, makes it count. Big return on investment there for the HP had, and Lydia's gonna make quicker work of the rest of the members from heaven. Flies down to pull in the last round for SRG as Wada was just there and almost grabbed it.
Wow, I mean, the turnaround from SRG from fighting yesterday in a map 3 up against Ghost to come back from a 3-9 to 9-3ing Wada now in the lower round 1. It's almost poetic. And yeah, Lydia there just swept through because of the low HP, because of the shock darts, because of what the Odin was able to achieve. And that's where I wish Wada had played more reactive, right? That's how Australis got the opener, right? Up against Sarah on the jump out. I feel like if they just held those crosses instead of re-slinging into heaven, it could have gone differently. But again, what could have been, because they've got to focus on the side swaps, you've got to focus on now this defensive half. And it hurts that it is so sided towards SRG, because again, Wada, once again, if they are super defense sided on this map, we don't have enough wiggle room to see it. This is what happened yesterday. They won the pistol, they lost the second round, and again, that was all Fly needed to run away with the half.
See if they're an active defensive side. Already hot hands prepared for any noise activation. And everything else is kind of anchor on the other side of the map. Yeah, you big push out from Wada here. And then it looks kind of red. A lot of things are quiet here to see if, for SRG, to see if Wada wants this push. Yep, they read it well.
Yeah, they did do this a few times. There's more in the buy rounds, actually, than anything. against Fly, but again, you know Alexis has been going through those VODs. She probably watched him after the game last night. And now knows how to anti this team. So the slow default for the pistol is meant to address. They bait out the Juna util, but Juna's going crazy. The paranoia more an after effect to stem the bleeding, but this wound is too gaping. Power
No way.
proceeds the net, and the numbers are there. Wada, a flawless pistol round to kickstart their defensive half.
That's crazy. Just the vines mixing up SRG that much. And they could not get into the site. Beautiful shooting by Wada inside the site. Nice use of util, and that was just a no panic situation. Not even that much needed. Just boop, boop.
We wait.
I said it yesterday. They lost a second round to Fly on like a Thrifty, right?
Yeah.
So what do we see? A second round Odin. A very, very aggressive style vibe. They do not want to lose this. Now, if that falls early, I'd be a bit scared, but SRG looking for that death ball approach, trying to make this second round pretty quick.
Yeah, insta stop for the Zerg too. Quick hot hands down. Vines are already up at B, so they're making sure nothing funky is going to happen right off the rip as they set up a little defensive in the back of sight.
Saves from the east up of exec. Oh, those are crazy shots. What?
One enemy remaining.
Was that legal? What we just saw? What in the heck? Right. Pops out of the gate crash and there's falls down to the Guardian. Quick shooting from Wada's defense. And now Noya is just trying to find a back pocket and finds Power Pixels Odin from across the map. Flawless again here for Wada.
Yeah, that is again huge. If they can get the momentum with them, I thought their defense strong was going to be strong. But let's just say that might have triggered some PTSD for SRG. Again, Marsley and Khaleesi now rebranded. We're seeing some crazy Guardian shots like that yesterday in that map 3. So if Bunny B can do the same here, it is going to be a bit costly at times. Yeah, that was crazy reactivity. And again, these players know how to hold their own ground. That's what Audit in my mind they excel at. It is, again, just playing very reactive, and that's why the defense favors them so much. And all right, once again, default, wait for these early fights, and they're like, yeah, sure, dump util into us. It's gonna make it that much harder for you to retake later when we get onto his site. That's the big caveat when you get onto his site. So SRG poking and prodding, Donut. Deep mid hold, but even Bunny B repositions to try and handle it.
See, they're kind of sticking together. I wonder if all three of them were going to push B main. They were on A side last time. Now they're on B. A push here from Dodo Nut. Takes up quite a bit of damage towards mid.
Yeah, really nice dual setup.
Yeah.
Okay. Less than a minute now left on the clock. The stack, the Thorns still here on B. I'm surprised that they're trying to follow through here. I guess they saw, okay, we see Bunny B, we see Starbound. If you have your double duelist here, maybe the Vice isn't, is the idea. But I don't think they also are going to account for Australis here. And the only downside is there's no paranoia maybe to hinge on this choke off the Thorns, and that's where numbers may favor SRG on this fight.
Gonna run in the pistol round strat here. SRG floods in. Oh, they're meeting the same fate. Oh, it's happening again. Oh my god, deja vu. Almost a ace this time from Bunny B's Guardian. 4K there, picks it up. Wada get another round. And I think SRG might start to rethink things.
I mean, I was gonna say, you guys still got 2 timeouts. It might be time for one just to shut down Wada. And speaking of Wada, actually, even though it felt one-sided at times, in that series versus Fly, they were able to actually, on Ascent, start out with a 3-0 start with that bonus conversion. And it's off of plays like this. Again, we mentioned it. Individuals felt like they were having an off day on both sides of this matchup. And Wada, that's equal told then that they can step up when need be. And Bunny B now with the run it back as that trade-off for the heroics is going to be huge for her in shutting down this eco if things get dicey and denying the next buy. And honestly, get these next 2, it's like, okay, might have a hand on our game on our hands.
Googly stepping in to chat with the team. Let's see what he can offer here to Shopify Rebellion. And it's been a crazy 3 rounds. To SRG, you know, they could be saying, hey, it's one person. Let's find out, you know, either deny, run away, or just kill Bunny B, right? But I think Wada is going to make it so much harder than that. You know, the solution sounds easy, but oh man, they seem to be on starting this defensive side, which is impressive because you think, oh, that's the attack side comp. You need to get a lot on attack or it's not going to work. But maybe they just play attack from defense when they're presented with a fight.
Yeah, and I do really like the power in Juna pairing. Again, we mentioned Juna and being on this hard anchor senti without a chamber for the first time, really. And power is that stability element you think of when you think of Wada. And so that's a great duo to have for this B anchor, even in this round up against the eco. Nice paranoia, nice net.
Trying to take some space. Beautiful net follow up as well by Goda not knowing that was the play that needed to happen. But they can disperse here. They still have a few littered through the front side of the site, which is going to help on stopping that flood. And they have some time to get this play done.
Oh, huge info gap of the double dive in, but that's where the deadlock starts to break things apart just a touch. Crunch on to Sarah's position. Things are going pretty swimmingly, actually, for Wada on this retake. The missed timing from Noya's position in main will make so many 1v1s that Wada can win.
Noya with one. The gun's so far out of reach, though, to be able to upgrade on this. Got it. Nobody was going to be able to push.
Not sticking. There we go.
7 left. Oh my god, Starbound was just so calm in sight, looking left and right, clearing whatever needed to be cleared. And Wada, it just looked like trust. It's one of the things that'll easily start to put you ahead in the game, is everybody playing off each other, and it's happening wonderfully for Wada right now as they take another round here in the second half. Just that setup already lets you know that they have something in mind here to keep it going for SRG.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for SRG, what we saw in that round is what they need to be doing every single round. Don't underestimate who is on that site, anchoring that site, even if there's a lack of a senti like they did last time when it was Bunny B and Starbound home on the eco on the bonus. We need to see that net. We need to see that flash. We need to see everything utilized to kind of incapacitate the Wada players on these anchor positions. In the meantime, though, Wada back to pushing some sort of extremity. And the duo here in a main. Starbound can't rendezvous away, so you've got to be careful here. You are very far committed, but the bait off Australis' position here could be nice.
I think I see someone up there. Just a little bit of the model. And now it's an easy hold there. The vines are already over towards A to give this anchor position so much help. So it's like having a third person on call. And yeah, Wada, again, stay safe. Really good fundamentals to not just overpeak the person up here in the round.
Yeah, good calls from both sides, right? SRG trying to reclear a main, but Wada backed out. They got the numbers, they got what they needed, what they came for, and now they can set up this anchor paranoia tag team play around those thorns. And with 45 seconds-ish left, not too sure SRG gonna have too many options if this annihilation misses. That's a big if, because it takes one down, completely dismantles the two anchoring, and Noya, the backstab timing is perfect on that mid lurk, so everything goes SRG's way on this A execution. Juna powered, the B-side anchor's forced to rotate and play now a 2v4 retake.
The predicted annihilation is disgusting. To the shadow step spot, well, that's something else. Maybe would have bounced too, but we'll see if the retake works all the way. Noya with one, another as just steps up and says, I'm sorry, was there something going on? Did you guys want this spike? SRG, use that timeout accordingly as it pays off here, moving into round 18.
Yeah, and again, it's that depth of util we asked to see, and the annihilation definitely adds it here. After, again, it feels like in the head-to-head, just dry fights. I feel like Wada's been winning a lot of those, and again, when you know, or if you are having an off day, that's where I do think a comp like this does fill that buffer up a little bit. And even with the loss yesterday, Noya, again, was having a crazy day, was still finding this multi, so that is no surprise that she holds her own on the re-entry off of really no util. So, oh no, that's a double-digit breakthrough for SRG. Wada. Again, what could have been denying that timeout turnaround would have been a tie game, but now SRG on track, and they plan intentionally around these ultimates, and Dimensional Drift lends them another way to get into this B site.
Spike down, B.
There's an Odin here. Yeah, I know. It just shot me through the wall. Still trying to calm everything, and Wada defends like a brick wall on this. SRG had all the info, but they couldn't use it. Just a few left as they try to walk themselves inside here to reclaim the spike, but it's not going to happen. Wada close in.
Wow.
Nice teamwork to grab a flawless round back. It's starting to get to that point where you don't know who's going to be getting the momentum on the next round.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 this half for Wada, flawless even so far. And yeah, this is hard because This is just really good calling from Wada, like in the moment, right? Together between Juno and Power, say let's tunnel vision in a bit on to getting Donut shut down, and that's where you maybe needed that start calling to punish that a little bit quicker pacing out of main from SRG. But I'm wondering then with their Thorns, what stopped them from getting a bit pacier there? And the closeout too, Wada not underestimating Noya's clutch factor. So all in all, surprised to see SRG still poking and prodding B side here. It gets them at least a the jet here from the dash away, and they're trying to draw those numbers over, but Bunny B's about to make contact on a main, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
Gets out quick. They have the paranoia read as well that came from Astralis just a bit ago. A nice dodge out by SRG, so at least 2 are here, but unaware of what the last play might be. Power Pixel's just ready to ult B main. Like looking at the wall right now, decides to not as they hear action towards A main. And now uses it there to kind of stop the hit right up the gut.
I'm a bit worried about that. Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice space. But now that from the shadows of the spike, Solo is backside. Even if you get one, it's just going to be waiting for the rotations to come through. Wada now have Spike fully in their control. At this point, this might have to be a safe call for SRG. If they can even get their way out of the situations they're in, the regroup in the mid is good. 35 seconds left, and starting to slow things down. Makes it seem like it is going to be the eventual save surrounding this B-side Cypher util.
Yeah, they're only getting, what, 2,400? So to kind of just reset now the second round loss. So there's some money to be gained here. And we were talking earlier, Zobi, like, this map for Wada could make the series pretty stressful for SRG, having not seen a few of the maps here for them in a while, and just the flow that we're seeing Wada get into.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, I'm trying to remember, I think there was a round just like that for SRG yesterday on Split, where they have, again, a single, or they have 2 lurk players that are getting a lot of B-side space while there is the fake out on the other side of the map, but then Spike is late on the rotate, and those players on B-side end up falling, and then again, you're left with no real options to pick up from, to kind of save yourself when time is no longer on your side. And again, that style of calling can be very risky, and it does depend on those players on B getting those kills. And that's where, again, it's been, I think, when SRG are playing a bit more contact, not as much util to fuel these fights, they don't look as dominant. And that's where I need to see, again, the kind of suppressive utility that this composition favors. And that's where maybe they're framing it for a bit more direct of an A split for it could be the last buy before Wada flips the script.
Yeah, they decide to buy in here. So they're going to get most of them at 3,000 or 4,400 next round for maybe 2 of them, 4,900. So this has to be a good round for SRG in both getting kills and staying alive throughout the round. At 10-9 now, Wada putting a ton of pressure on. They just go full anchor mode on kind of both of these sites.
Yeah, it was a huge win for SRG, actually dodging all that intel from Power's drones. So Wada not expecting, I think, the full brunt of this A split.
Oh, and the Odin. Still ringing true. Power cleans one up. Shock Dart's going to get the follow through now. And they slow a smoke towards A main to kind of delay the site. A little check from Astralis is there. So it's not touch and go right now, but just playing cat and mouse with what info they want to give. That they give up a little bit too much. Astralis gets antsy, and Dodo Nut punishes 2. Power Pixel trying to solve the situation a little bit. Duck cover right now for Dodo Nut as a Shock Dart also pushes back. Dang, that an answer for everything from Power Pixel in the open.
Yeah, that was a really nice timing, I think, from SRG on the A main players coming out to punish Bunny B, but the refrag from Astralis serves them well, and Power Pixel has that nice balance of having impact without risk. And that's what keeps numbers here in favor of Wada. The 1v3 will get Spike planted down, but how much more can you find? Nothing. The trade immediate Wada tie us up 10-10 with a very good outlook on claiming the lead back here towards the finish line.
Is that important?
You're a few goal points away from annihilation. 100's Fury will come online. Dodo Nut's ult is there, but you're also going to have to be going against your arsenal being stolen already. Just the fact that Wada is reading you right now, and what a fantastic game from them to come in here and kind of have an answer for this SRG comp not being thrown off and really playing their own game.
Yeah, going to be a difficult one. SRG is still sitting on a timeout, so are Wada, so I think we're far from over in terms of switch-ups that can happen, dynamic changes, but look at that. Again, SRG have won a singular round this half, and again, that's what I expected from Wada yesterday versus Fly if they didn't lose the second round thrifty. It's, again, that's where we mentioned it. Wada and Wyatt said on the desk, they played a good game on this map. They were, again, feel like steps away from greatness, and greatness is what we're seeing now. The net, again, feels like an afterthought. It's late. It doesn't set up these engagements. Wada don't get punished for them, and they now have numbers.
Taking some chances, and Wada will punish. Trying to play just around this util. Dodo not punishes as well. As Wada feel a little too comfortable. Do they know it's a second one? Would you expect the second one to be with the Odin that close?
Maybe.
It looks like it's going to be a safe play for now, as Dodo Nut is not leaving anything to chance.
That's a really nice bait. I don't think you expected alongside the Thorns if they're popping those so early.
Yeah, the mind games are strong right now.
Oh, if Star wins this fight, this round is over. Absolutely. And, misses the shot, tries to go for the reposition, but this regroup for SRG into mid-space is nice, and starting off, you realize I have to hard anchor this side. I have 2 avenues to manage, so good TP into stairs, but do SRG expect it?
Enemy kill.
Oh!
They want it from blades.
Just on the corner, easy model. Another shot's huge. Is it? You think it's activated right away? Looking to push in sight. They're going to try to get some kills on the way in since it's not been a full committal. 10 seconds on the clock going through, waiting for the next jump. Nice job to get the off line. Huge play, but Starbound's going to get it. Knives do not come out. It's just going to be the updraft there, as it was hoping to be both protecting the back side of sight. Now, SRG have the ground they need.
I swear it was 4.02. The dimensional drift is out, but that allows Bunny B to try and take a 1v1. Donut, though, is faster on the draw. 4K, the secondary force for SRG favors them. Wada cannot find a lead in this map just yet.
The fact that, just random, but going back to the fact that SRG was able to get the plant the previous round is insane for the amount of money it allowed them to buy into this round and do what they needed to do, get damage down.
Wow.
Still have some weapons to get around. Holy stretch. And that's exactly what they do best. SRG at the final hour, stop Wada's momentum, but is it enough here? The guns are still on the map, and we're going into round 22.
Yeah, it makes you wish I also had a paranoia in Boathouse after the From the Shadows, but yeah, just the team fight set up for our SRG. We're so strong. We're far from over again. When you find that many rounds this half, Wada will have another buy. Blades down in the back pocket. Run it back now in the back pocket. There's so much to work around. They're actually going to use that to go on the offensive. SRG, play it safe. Just disengage.
The util fight in mid of nothing that matters just yet. And now we'll see where the impact comes through. They're covered on B, action towards A, and it looks like Wada's got their eyes focused just right on the situation with this operator in heaven.
The last day split was so nice, right? You think about Noya, the backstab through a tree, the timing there while they're trying to full focus the sights, and I feel like we're heading towards that same prospect now, but it'll be if Starbound gets the opener and what exactly the rest are able to achieve.
On the Juna in sight, but Bunny B's going to be able to save there. Nice job from Tree to cut and clothesline the rest of the team of SRG that's coming through. An answer for everything here for Wada. And Bunny B's looking for more as she pushes out front. They are in step with each other right now. This is kind of incredible from Wada. They take it right back from SRG.
And Noya kind of got walled into that garden fight almost, it felt like. So with small mistakes like that ticking up, SRG take their final time out here. Again, they feel so close to the finish line, would hate to stumble here and now. And I don't know, I feel like that round was clean again from them, but it's just like you mentioned, Wada, I feel like they had everything covered. They have drifted away from like solo dependence on players like Starbound, and that Bunny Bee re-entry that was timed perfectly, not once but twice, as those SRG players were trying to come out main. So I don't know. I feel like SRG, I don't want to say I need them to slow it down, but it's like very opposite advice to them that I gave to Wada in last half, where SRG were doing better poking and prodding into mid, right? Wada liked to take those peaks, those re-engagements, right? And that's what SRG punished to get that slight numbers and that late round B fight. That, yes, was 0.02 seconds away from disaster, but hey, they still won the round. So A big difference to what we saw last round, where it got very, very one-sidedly snuffed out. And now, again, we mentioned the money is sour because of the little double buy-up they attempted, and there's still ults for Wada to function off of.
I think one of the things Wada is punishing really, well, not punishing, but using really well is just the fact that they have that Phoenix. Both teams are trying to play the Omen Smoke dart over kill through ping game quite a bit of the time. When that dart goes away, then you're kind of searching for the next angle and you're catching a flash in the face. Then everybody on Wada is super happy to peek and they're finding these incredible angles. That flash is so hard right now. I think Dodonut's more been an entry, right? They're not doing the flash out of the smokes as much. It's a lot harder to not get caught by the Phoenix flash, so they're just using it so well to retake space.
Oh, I said this, I wanted to see the net more as a starting point instead of a reaction point, and that just made that entire trap Wada had that was more invested than normal, right? You had the op there, you had the hot hands as well as the Omen, and now again everything feels like it's proactive, even the clones, that they don't get punished by this stack, by this A-site setup from Wada that completely clotheslined them in the last round. And this is where Alexis has a big call to make. A double down re-exit now that your wall and garden is in place, or do you leave? Wada hasn't left. That's one thing to take into account. And you also don't have Denoya mid lurk this time around either.
They've already, the drone has gotten the op off the line they wanted. They could have that side entry pretty safe now. It's just the timing they want to use. Maybe they're hoping that Starbound is walking all the way across the map in this situation, but no. Great timing, 30 seconds. They know the util is going to have to be used now, so everything gets dropped, actually. Wada cleans up a few in sight. Astralis tries to do their best, but it's going to be SRG coming through with the Sheriffs, able to now upgrade and get themselves a plant. But this still is going to be round 12 for someone, an important round. Wada is going to have to get back together here from the tree side.
You have to use the steel guard at this point. You should know they have the upgrades. Here it comes. Break the door in the meantime while they're on that run away. But one player still has a weapon. Noya here from main is going to be so dangerous, Rivington.
Not looking to the right just yet. They try to get a defuse on right away. Power picks on the first one. Spamming the corner, looking for the pre-fire. Noya here to pick it up, to be the cleanest, and it's Power picks out with the Odin, ramps it back up, 15 HP, the defuse comes through, and Wada will continue the momentum.
They were getting those flashbacks to a Thrifty being what undoes their win, their chances, and Power Pixel locks in. Right, denies the 30 that SRG so carefully crafted here. I was a bit worried because, again, Donut outpaced the paranoia, but the fact they shut down the Bladestorm, the fact that they shut down Australis' close position with a better weapon was very well orchestrated, really around Sarah's positioning every step of the way into that retake. And even here, Noya got the crossover, and it's just a very, very unfortunate whiff that does not go her way, and wadded up to map point on their map pick, and given the same exact setup that they've had in terms of this aggro A fight, the difference being that we're gonna get the Power Pixel Hunter Siri on top, and at the off is B side.
Trying to shuffle things in the beginning. Eyes on SRG as they attack here to push it into overtime. Identify on the Bunny B, but the ground has not been gained just yet. Blind is clear, and that's the push through. That's what we've been seeing so much, but SRG, we're a step ahead this time. They have to push through 3 members of Wada still. It's going to be a tough task, and the util's low.
Glad that Power Pixel backed off here. Can play the spray angle on the default. Can now have numbers going in this retake.
Oh my god!
Spike down A.
How much more can you seal the deal, Zobi? And give the reason why this Ascent map was your pick. Power Pixel reading the angle, getting the spike down. Noya again for a second round now left to hit the clutch.
This would be a great way to answer back for last rounds with Noya. Use the clips that she is known for, the type of clutches that would get this team to overtime. But Wada have been so careful. They don't underestimate her. They're going to be thorough every step of the way.
Careful now.
Letting them take the space, get the approach. Oh, and it's the peak to power. The 4K for Power Pixel. Wada find the win on Ascent. And they use their time while those timeouts